Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Claw and the King podcast. We are back. I am with my co-host, Dopey, a.k.a. Oscar, a.k.a. the French Jew. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, I think. Can't complain too much. A lot of stuff going on, in the world.
Yeah.
Sports, not sports.
Depressing
Busy
news,
time.
Depressing news for myself. If you're a Panthers supporter, you're also a Samoa supporter, which I've learned from Oscar, because basically their entire team is Samoa in terms of rugby league. We'll get a bit into that and get into a bit of the Football World Cup and that sort of preview that's coming up.
I think we should call this episode the Summer of Cups.
What cups are we referring to? Just the World Cup and the Rugby League World Cup?
Well, there's
what other
World
cups?
Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Rugby
England
World
won that. Spoiler alert, fuck.
Yeah, so I feel like we should start with the Cricket World Cup because it's the least cared about one.
I think it's the most cared about. England won.
England.
It's coming home.
Something is coming home to England.
Home.
Something is coming home to England at the very least.
Well, the white ball is ruled by England at this current moment. We're the ODI world champions and we're the T20 world champions.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're not the most important champion, which is the Ashes champion, but...
Well, in terms of the world stage, we are the most important. Look, it was a pretty nervy. I watched the game and it was a...
Bloody Ben Stokes, mate.
Oh, God,
that
he's
guy
a
is
hero.
a god.
What a guy, bro. He's probably the most clutch player in cricket. Oh, definitely.
He's definitely up there. He's had some moments over the years.
Oh, just probably... I mean, legacy-wise, he'll go down as one of the greatest just because of the moments that he's had.
Because he's not even that great just on a day-to-day basis.
He's not.
It's just in finals.
He doesn't
and
have the
big moments.
consistency that other greats have. However, in big moments, he steps up to an unbelievable level, and that's what sport's about. That's what competitive sport's all about. It's about winning when you need to win, essentially, and performing when you need to perform. And he does that tremendously. So, we bowled first. We did extremely well there. We kept into a low score, and I thought, it's going to be a breeze. And then I'm like, oh God, it's getting a bit tight for my liking. But we did pull it out in the end. Pakistan were just a few runs short in the end. I think if they would have maybe got 10 to 15 more runs, it would have been a lot closer. But at the end of the day, the total was too low. And that great partnership that Stokesy had, and that great innings that Stokesy had was the real catalyst for that England victory.
Yeah, I mean, well, Australia didn't make it out of the group, so disappointing from them. I don't understand the Cricket World Cup structure. They only have two groups.
Well, it's weird because a lot is based on like runs scored and runs allowed, isn't it? It's like a goal difference.
Well, yeah,
system
that's a goal difference. But
there's so few games.
But it's like the way it's structured is only two people get out of the groups. It's immediately
Semis,
semi-final, and then that leaves one big team is always not going to get through.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. I never.
And their groups are like 8 teams. Like you could just split that in half.
Yeah, why can't you just do? I mean, then I guess you'd have like the Netherlands playing England in a knockout game, and it'd just be embarrassing.
Maybe.
But look, that format probably does need to have a quick look at, because there are a lot of great cricketing nations that didn't sort of progress to elimination finals, and that's what the fans want to see, and that's what the fans didn't really get to see. In terms of Australia tanking, and they're looking pretty shambolic
Well, the
at the moment.
team's just so old.
Well, yeah,
I
I think the West Indies test squad was announced recently, and it's just the same old players. Like Scotty Boland's in there, which understandable after the Ashes that he had.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in total, once Steve Smith and Davey Warner leave, so I mean, God, who's
Marnus.
the future? But who's the future? Marnus, is that it?
Probably.
Josh Hazelwood's getting up there in age. Mitch Stark is.
Cummins, he's up there.
Is it? So the future's going to be Cameron Green and Marnus.
Well, yeah, it has to be Cameron Green. But no one else is really suited to test. I mean, in the shorter formats, we've got a bit more depth, I think. But there's that dude that just gets concussed every game he plays, it seems.
Oh yeah, the opener. Yeah,
he was meant to be the next guy, but he can't play a game, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he gets concussed. But yeah, I just don't know where Australia always dominate home Ashes. So it's tough to sort of gauge Australia as a team, because after the Ashes, you're always like, oh my God, Australia is the best cricketing nation in the world. They just embarrassed England. And then you watch them against Bangladesh in a T20 a couple of weeks later and they lose. So it's a bit hit and miss for Australia. And I think they really need some future superstars to sort of power them through and sort of make that transition from Davey Warner and Steve Smith a little bit easier, in my opinion. But
and even in the shorter formats, like Aaron Finch, he's 36, 37.
Well, yeah, but he's shit. I mean,
Exactly.
God, how does he get picked?
He's still playing, and Maxwell, he's mid-30s. Like they're all up there.
Is it because cricket is dying in Australia? Is that the reason why?
I don't know if cricket's dying, but it's definitely not what it once was.
Yeah, because I remember growing up and you had all those.
Like basketball's probably the chosen sport.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
say.
100%. Basketball in terms of participation as well. In terms of a summer sport in Australia, we have summer and winter. Winter is a lot more varied, I feel, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
It could be football, it could be rugby, it could be rugby union,
AFL.
AFL. It depends really on where you are. But I feel like in Australia in particular, basketball is just so much easier. I think.
Yeah, and it's so much less time consuming.
I think for parents as well to put their kids through, they're like, do I want to sit for 4 hours and watch my kid? Yeah, and watch my kid just stand in a field, or do I want to just show up for 40 minutes and he runs around a lot and loses all his energy, and he has, he can
blows
be quiet
layups.
for if you're me. But yeah, he can be just quiet for the rest of the day. So that's what I think parents are getting their kids into basketball, because it's such.
Well, even the kids would be
and it's
choosing
cheap.
basketball.
It's cheaper as well. What do you have? Especially at youth level, you wear your trainers. You don't have to buy anything. You just show up. Really, cricket, you got to buy pads, gear. I mean, it's just not gear, but sporting wear you've got to buy. I don't know why.
Some gloves.
Steroids just came into my head. But anyway,
box.
Well, that's probably not the most expensive thing. I mean, you could make that handmade. I mean, I'm
I
sure you
wouldn't
could.
trust that. Jesus,
You could find something. Oh, this could be a.
you'd trust that.
It'd do the job. It'd do the trick. But no, I do think the participation of cricket has gone down, even though it's still a massive. I still think culturally it's still an Australian pastime, but it's nowhere near what it once was, and I think that's reflecting in the talent coming up. I just don't think there's enough participation, and it's translating to not enough talent, young talent coming through. That I mean, we're not avid cricket watchers. I mean, I'm a big time England fan, so I watch a lot of England Test cricket, but I'm not too sure about the good prospects for Australian cricketers. So I wouldn't be too knowledgeable about it, but all I know is that when I was younger, I just saw all these stars, and now I see aging stars.
Yeah,
essentially, and I don't see any big time young stars coming through. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, obviously England winning the World Cup was a great achievement for us, and
great achievement.
Hopefully it's going to translate. I thought we might have had the quadruple.
The quadruple? What's the fourth?
The Rugby League World Cup. We could have won the World Cup,
what
the
else?
T20. Oh, what's the other? The Lawn Bowls World Cup. That's right. Yeah, the Lawn Bowls World Cup is on at the moment. It's on Fox Sports. You should be watching it. But yeah, England were in the quarters for that, but we got knocked out by.
I think my nan's in that actually.
Yeah, we got knocked out by the Ukraine. It was embarrassing.
You actually know what happened?
No, I'm making it up, right?
Oh yeah, I was like, what the fuck? How do you know what happened?
No, why would I watch the Lawn Bowls? There might be. I mean, fuck, I might have predicted it.
Ukraine can send a team out?
Yeah, dude, it's embarrassing. I don't know. I mean, it's like they've got a lot of old timers. They need some citizenships flying around, so they needed something to do in the pastime. Their home's been destroyed, so they might as well. Let's put some time into the lawn bowls.
They practice lawn bowls with like bombs.
Oh yeah, grenades. The grenades, yeah. But they usually they take the pin out of the mouth and then they just roll it. But now they don't have to do that. They
Towards
just have
the
to,
Russians.
Yeah, they'll just pretend the other balls are the Russians. So like, I've got to get it as close to them as possible without it kicking back. It's actually quite similar to throwing a grenade or rolling a grenade, in my opinion. But so yeah, they're quite good at it.
Yeah.
To be fair,
They've got good.
It's
practice.
natural. Yeah, it's natural. They've been doing it for the past 2 years. But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
To the second World Cup that's going on. England did fail in this one after beating Samoa 60-0, I believe, in the first game of the tournament.
Oh, that's not important.
They failed to win.
Well, I just want to congrats my boy Joseph Suaalii. What you want to do. What a player
That's
he
what
is.
you want to do.
He was the main fixture in that game.
I hate Suaalii. I hope he has a horrible career.
No, don't say that. He's a lovely player. But yeah, the main thing for me was what Luai was doing in terms of his off-field
in terms of
antics.
destroying the team.
In terms of just being a grub.
3-4 try assists?
Well, he's just a bit of a grub, isn't he? It's just a tad.
A very good grub.
Is he?
Well, yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
At this stage.
Well, look, he's great unless he does something for New South Wales. Then he's shit. But that's by the by. Look, day one, it was a golden point game. It was just a toss-up. England probably should have won it. But then again, Samoa have quality players. He tried to sort of put away at the start when England beat them 60-0 or whatever it was. He tried to Samoa doesn't have any good players. What are you talking about? And I'm like, they're all Panthers players.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, all the Panthers players were in the back line. And I went through like...
Yeah, because I said the reason they lost is because the
Lanyu,
forwards.
is he not a Panthers player?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I was like, it's kind of it's a tough pill to swallow after you beat them 60 to whatever we beat them in that first game. But Samoa are a great team on paper, especially. They're probably up there in top 4 in the tournament. I think they're a better team on paper than Tonga.
Stephen Crichton, mate, that guy is a clutch.
Did he wear eyeliner? He's got very dark eyes.
Yeah, he's just.
Does he wear eyeliner?
Features. No, he doesn't.
It looks like he wears eyeliner. Like, have you not noticed
He wears clutch. That's what he wears.
I know, but have you noticed that?
No, I
don't.
No, I haven't.
But don't you think he's got really dark eyelids?
I don't know. I guess
It just pops out to me. I'm like, oh god, is he wearing eyeliner? It's just a bit weird. Anyway, yeah. Look,
it's mandatory that guy scores a try in every big game he plays.
well, he did a massive intercept try that sort of turned the tables. England should have won it, but they turned the ball over to that lanky guy. So, yeah. Look, it's a tough pill to swallow. I don't think the final is going to be that close, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And I think everyone wanted an Australia-England final. Well, I think okay.
Everybody in Australia loves to see England lose.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. In terms of neutral fans and Australian fans, I think Australia, if they ask who would you want to play in the final, I think they'd say England. Just because rivalry game, neutrals want to see the biggest game. It's in England. You want to.
Well, the rivalry game.
That crowd's would have been crazy for that. Does it get played at Old Trafford?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But yeah, it's a fantastic game that would have been. But it is what it is. It's going to be Samoa and Australia, and hopefully Samoa pull off the upset.
Yeah. Well, the big rivalry game was the other semi-final, Australia-New Zealand. Whoever made the draws fucked it up by putting them on the same side of the bracket.
Well, I think they anticipated England versus Australia, but...
No, but you want New Zealand, Australia in the final. They're the two best teams.
Not if England's hosting it. They want England in the final.
Yeah, but
they want England in the final.
Well, put them on New Zealand's side then. So then they can have Australia in the final. But...
they did that last time England hosted, I think, wasn't it? It was New Zealand... England in a final. Anyway, moving on.
Australia, they pulled it out. It was a close game. I don't know. I mean, I think they should win, I guess. But they haven't really been playing that well, to be honest.
Their talent is just so unbelievable. It's ridiculous. I mean, New Zealand, even you look at before the tournament, you're like, oh, New Zealand has a chance. They've got so much. They've got so many good players. They've got Manu. They've got the Cheese. They've got Dylan Brown. They've got so many good players. But then you look at them, that squad for squad against Australia, and like the depth that Australia has compared to the other nations is just pretty jarring, I'd say. Just the sort of plethora of talent that they can just choose from. And, this guy's not playing that well. Oh, this guy's got a niggle. We'll switch him out for this guy. Oh, he's just a state of origin player. We'll put him in. It's just the quality that they have in depth, I think, is the reason why they're doing so well. But yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty easy win for Australia in the final.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
Australia to win, Cleary, man of the match.
Well, how did that $5,000 bet go? By the way, what was that? Didn't you put on a massive?
Oh no, obviously I didn't win.
Oh yeah, because I remember it was to do with the UFC. We'll talk about the UFC later, but it's to do with the UFC, right? It was, but your guy lost.
Which guy?
Not Usman. Adesanya lost, so you lost the bet. So I was like, oh.
Well, there was much more that needed to happen.
You lost every other leg as well.
I didn't lose every leg, but I lost multiple legs.
Oh, well, that's not good. But anyway, moving on.
Okay, we'll leave the World Cup there. We'll just do a bit of a fat preview now.
A fat one. Oh yeah, let's do a fat rip of this preview.
The Football World Cup coming up. Now, Australia and England could be one apiece in World Cups here. This is the decider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, what did you say? I didn't listen.
Australia and England are going to be one apiece in World Cups.
Australia and England are going to be one apiece in World Cups. Why is that?
Because we're going to win rugby, you won cricket. Oh, this is the decider.
They're not equal, though, are they?
Yeah, they are.
I don't think rugby league and T20 cricket are on the same atmosphere.
No, they're not equal, but I'm just saying this is a tiebreaker.
This is no time. If Australia win this, I will declare that Australia is the GOAT nation of all time, and England.
Imagine if they win.
That Australia is England's daddies. I will say that openly. I will renounce my English citizenship to be a full. I am an Australian citizen, but I'll renounce my England one and just be an Australian citizen if Australia win the World Cup. I promise you.
Well,
I will.
At least we've got that on camera now. So,
you think they're gonna win? That you think they're gonna win a
well,
game?
I think it's probably unlikely, but
probably
who
unlikely.
knows?
They didn't score They didn't score an open goal in the last World Cup, and their team is worse.
Well, on paper it's worse, yes, but in terms of spirit.
Oh, on spirit, yeah.
And World Cup is built
forgot
on
about
spirit.
Oh, God.
You see, they got Timmy Cahill in there revving the boys up.
He's an ambassador for Qatar, isn't he?
Yeah, supporting the slavery.
Good on him. Good on Timmy.
Anything for the bag, Timmy.
Give a good old headbutt to the competition, huh? To free speech. So, yeah, look, it's a quite a interesting sort of scenario that Australia have themselves in. I don't think they're going to get a single point. And I think that's not controversial to say, really.
Okay.
Tunisia, I think people underestimate them. They've got a couple good players, but yeah, it'll be Denmark and France to come out of that group.
Okay.
I
think what we'll do is we'll go through each group, sort of break down the teams, and then say who we think are going to come out of the group.
Okay, let's go.
So I'll start with Group A, Ecuador. You got anything to say about Ecuador?
No.
They
got. Do they have Casado? He plays for Brighton. I'm not too sure. I get those countries confused a bit, but I think he plays for Brighton. Casado. Caicedo.
Yeah.
He plays for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. He plays for Brighton.
He's our age.
That makes you feel old, bro.
I know. It
makes you feel like your life is worthless. Honestly, just watching
really
this guy
does.
just be in a World Cup. But no, he's very talented. He's dominated Man United a couple of times. I remember, he's a player that Man United were actually linked to a couple of times. So he's a very talented player. But Ecuador, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't see them coming out of the group. They're not good. Probably the best team in Group A, the Netherlands. They've got quite a strong squad. Historically, they always, in my opinion, perform well in tournaments. I mean, if you go back to 2010, they made the final.
When they make them, they didn't make the last World Cup.
Yeah, but 2014, I think they did pretty well.
Yeah, look, they've got a good team. Yeah. They I'm not too sure about their striking options. I'm not in.
Well, they got
Depay. They've got Depay, but he's in and out form. They've got Bergwijn. They've got a couple decent players, but I don't love their attack. But they've got a very sort of good base. You can say their base is really strong. They've got obviously Van Dijk, De Ligt. They've got Frankie De Jong. They've got a very, very solid base, I feel. So, look, I think they're definitely a shoo-in to get out of this group. And yeah, hopefully they'll do okay. I like a lot of the Dutch players, so let's hope that they do okay, and I think they'll easily progress out of this group.
Obviously, Man United legend managing them.
But the centre-backs are unbelievable. They got De Vrij,
De Ligt,
Timber, De Ligt, Van Dijk. I mean, their centre-back, Daley Blind is in there maybe. So they've got a lot of really, really good depth in that centre-back position, which is... Sven Botman didn't even make the team, and he's been unbelievable for Newcastle. So, yeah it's a tough... you see a lot of these teams have certain areas, like England at right back. It's just unbelievable. It's like the best in the world. But at centre back, we can't find anyone to save our life. Well, we can, but Southgate doesn't pick them.
You don't pick them, yeah. Okay, moving on. Qatar. No, you suck.
No, they're not even that bad.
Yeah, they suck.
No,
they're the lowest ranked team in the tournament.
You'll be surprised when you chuck a lot of money at something, you actually can do quite well. Since they won the World Cup bit, or it might even be a bit before, they developed like this academy. They brought in a bunch of Qatar players, aka just players from around the world that they try to naturalize into their country. But yeah, they've developed a lot of decent amount of talent. They won the Asian.
CONCACAF.
No, they won the Asian World Cup, I think. or something like that. They won a major tournament, and they've got solid players, but they're not well known because they play in Qatar. So they've got a couple good players. They could put up a decent shock in the group, but I'm not. I won't say that they get out.
I hope they lose just for the sake.
Well, yeah,
of it.
everyone hopes they lose because they're a scathing scumbag.
Yeah,
Just disgusting.
Suck Qatar.
Yeah, well, we don't like Qatar
Unlucky.
because they've ruined the World Cup essentially. But I don't think they've got too bad of a team.
Yeah, and final team in Group A. I think most people are picking this country to come out of the group. Senegal. I think they've sort of come out of nowhere for me. Senegal, in terms of being good at least.
Well, that's the thing. It seems like they've come out of nowhere, but if you look at their best players, they're all old. It's pretty funny. Mane, Koulibaly, the standouts. Obviously, they've got Mendy. I think Mendy's in goal.
They got Mendy.
So yeah, they got a couple good players here and there.
Well, I think Mane's obviously under an injury cloud.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable player. So he's a massive. If Mane's out for the group stages, I think they could easily not make it out of the group.
They got Ismaila Sarr.
Ismaila Sarr plays for Watford, solid player. So yeah, they've got a couple good players, but again, if Mane's out, I think a team like Qatar or even Ecuador could sort of mount an upset on them, and it could be a really tight sort of race for second. I think the Dutch will easily win the group, but it'll just be a race for second if Mane's out. If Mane's healthy and firing, they'll definitely get second, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Group B.
For sure.
England. Can they win? No, they're cursed. They can't.
Look, as much as I want to say yes, and I am going to say yes, that is absolutely goddamn right. England are winning the World Cup. It's coming home, baby. No, we're not winning. It's not happening for the simple fact that we have a terrible manager and we have major holes in this team. And history is not on our side. We've got kind of a history of choking in big tournaments. And look, and our form coming into the tournament wasn't great. But obviously, as an England fan, you got to have faith. You got to have faith.
Well, everyone's just like,
faith.
Maguire's going to play, so we've just got faith in him. Everyone's sort of come to that conclusion. We just got to back him.
If Maguire plays, it's just an absolute joke. I mean, what are you doing?
Connor Cody basically got picked as a...
Well, he plays a three-back.
As a morale type of player,
but
he's not going to play.
He plays a three-back, Gareth. So you've got to look... John Stones and Carl Walker are shoo-ins for two of those. But
Carl Walker's also under injury cloud.
Yeah, to be fair, but he'll in terms of big games, in terms of the best team, Carl Walker will be in there. And then it's just who plays on that left centre back role,
which is going to be Maguire.
God.
Unless you put like Luke Shaw there or someone, but
he's traditionally put Luke Shaw further forward. And I think he doesn't have a left back.
Well, you put Trippier there.
Yeah, he could do, but I just think that he'll probably put Luke Shaw on the left hand side and put Trent on the right, or he could put Trippier on the right. Actually, I think that might be.
Trent's been fucking terrible this year.
Well, yeah, I think he loves Trippier, and Trippier's a quality right back, so I wouldn't be surprised.
You could put Eric Dyer.
Oh yeah, he'll probably play Eric Dyer at centre back. I'd imagine that. I don't like to say it, but that's probably the best back three. Is Stones, Dyer, and Kyle Walker, which is not great. You could have had Tomori in there, but no, let's not have him in there. But look, in terms of the group, I think we should win it, and if we don't, it's a goddamn embarrassment. I mean, my God, if we let the Yanks beat us, it'd just be embarrassing.
This is the golden generation of Yanks.
Is it? I thought they said that 10 years ago when they had Clint Dempsey and Tim Howard and all that guy. And Landon Donovan. He played for the LA Galaxy. What a player. Fuck off, you Yanks. But yeah, they're a decent team. They got Tyler Adams, who's a decent player. They got Pulisic, who's the LeBron James of soccer. So yeah, the group is a joke, to be honest. They've got some half-decent teams, Iran, Wales, but I just think England's got to top that group in terms of, if you look at the quality on paper. And the second, it's probably a group of death scenario for those other three teams because I think they're all relatively even. I think Iran is a bit underrated in terms of how good of a team they are and how well they've played. In terms of their ranking, they're actually, I think, higher than the other two, which is a bit surprising. But yeah, Wales, America. It's a very interesting group in terms of who will finish second, but I think England should finish first.
Yeah, England first. Iran, I don't even know if I know a single player in their squad.
Jalabak, is that one of them? Jahanbach, did he play for them? I don't think their team's very well known, but in terms of rankings and they've apparently in a good run of form. So I mean, I don't watch Iranian football, but what I'm told, it's a solid team. So
I'm not gonna pick him to come out of the group.
Who are you picking? Wales.
I want to see Bale have a little
Swan Cinderella.
Song. Yeah. I'll take Wales to come out. Old Gareth, he's been sitting on
they
the
don't
benches.
That's a problem. Their team is just. You look at that team from the Euros where they made the semis. It's just not comparable.
You still got Ramsey.
Because Ramsey and Bale are so much worse than what they were at that tournament. Like at that tournament, Aaron Ramsey was he still play for Arsenal? Was he still top? Yeah, he was still a good player for Arsenal. And Gareth Bale was at Madrid, and he scoring Champions League hat tricks or whatever, or Champions League bicycle kicks. He was an unbelievable player still. So it's a bit of a tricky one for Wales. Their team's a lot worse because their two best players are a lot worse. So we'll see. But
yeah, I'm going for Wales. I mean, America. I
have a feeling America.
I think, are probably the favourites to come second. But no one likes America, so
yeah, fuck the Yanks.
They win everything. So
do they?
Hopefully they
don't win football.
Yeah, well, apart from this, they
or
win
cricket.
Everything.
I didn't see them in the cricket.
They don't
World
play
Cup.
cricket.
Didn't see them in the Rugby League World Cup, did I?
I'm sure if they wanted to, they would win.
Well, they're not in it, so I don't see them as dominant, are they?
Okay, whatever. Okay, moving on. Group C. Start with Argentina. Now, a lot of people I've seen are picking Argentina to win. Obviously, this is Messi's last chance. Yeah. A lot of people saying he needs to win a World Cup to be unanimously the GOAT. I think they've got a good squad. They should come out of the group. It'll be a travesty if they don't. But I don't know. I don't know if I can see them going all the way. It's just...
Well, I look at their team and it's very complete. And it's tough to say that it's definite. No, I mean, they've got Emi Martinez in goal, who's a solid keeper. They've got Lisandro Martinez, Romero as centre-back. And what's his name? I can't remember his name. But yeah, they've got solid...
I think their midfield...
They got Rodrigo de Paul, who's Messi's best mate in the midfield. They've got obviously Di Maria. They've got Lautaro Martinez. They're a very, very solid team. It's just the thing with Argentina is Dybala just skim by the skin of his teeth got in the team. But yeah, it's a very, very with Argentina. It's always been one guy and then a bunch of solid players around him.
No, but they used to be fucking stacked up front.
They used
to have 5 of the best strikers.
Well, they made the World Cup final in Brazil, was it, with Messi?
2014.
So yeah, and they had a bunch of solid players around him.
Like they were trying to play Higuain, Aguero, and Messi all together.
Well,
Di Maria.
But I think they've got a very well balanced team. They're obviously on a great run of form. What is it? 40 games or something. They've had an unbelievable, unbeaten run. So we'll see. But I just there's something about me that doesn't want to pick them.
Yeah,
maybe it's because I don't like
me.
Messi. Yeah, maybe it's that. And he's made me hate the Champions League because he beat us twice in a final, and it traumatized me. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Who else in Mexico?
They're always solid in World Cups.
No, but they're shit this year. You ask Mexican fans, they're terrible.
Okay.
They're genuine, because they always make the round of 16. They're genuinely scared to get knocked out in the groups this year. So I don't think they'll get out. If you ask a Mexican about it, they say no. So I'm going to trust the Mexicans.
Okay. So what? So you think Poland comes out?
Who's the other team in the group?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think Poland might come out.
Well, I mean, they've got the guy in Lewandowski. Obviously a big tournament for him. His last World Cup.
Fabianski. They've got some solid players.
Szczesny in goal.
I thought they had Fabianski, didn't
they? In goal.
Yeah, Fabianski.
Surely Szczesny's better.
I think Fabianski's better. But anyway, that's by the by. I think it's a solid team. It's a very much a one-man team in terms of the golfing talent between Lewandowski and the rest.
It's kind of like an Ibrahimovic Sweden team.
But yeah, it's like an Ibra Sweden team. So an Ibris Sweden team always got out in always got into the knockout stages. So I think they'll make it through.
Okay. Wow. I think Mexico still get through.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, who have they got?
They got a bunch of
Lozano.
Mexicans.
Oh, really? Oh, good one.
Yeah, they got Lozano,
Hector Herrera.
Guardado, he's the captain.
Guardado.
Okocha.
Ochoa.
Remember, he was a beast in like 2014 World Cup.
Yeah, look, he's a World Cup merchant. I mean, he's an unbelievable World Cup player, but he's like 53, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So if Argentina don't win that group, they've had a
shambles,
shambolic
mate.
tournament.
It's a shambles.
Shambles. Moving on, Group D, the group of death.
Is it the group of death or?
Yeah. Australia.
Oh no, this is not the group of death. It's the easiest group.
Australia.
Ever.
Now, everyone's counting them out. I think they get through.
I think
By
you're
the skin of their teeth.
honestly, if you think Australia are going to get through this group, and you're not doing it out of like blind loyalty, and you're doing it because you're genuinely like processing Australia and saying, you know what, and analysing them and saying, oh, this team can actually do things. Like, if you genuinely think that, you should be put into a psychiatric ward.
They're coming off a win against Peru, which is a solid win.
Oh my God, what a win.
That's what got them into the tournament, obviously.
They beat Peru. Oh my God, they're just going to beat France now. It's just sealed on.
Yeah.
Signed, sealed, delivered. The World Cup's yours.
So, yeah, I think they're probably going to win all 3 games.
Yeah.
Finish on 9 points, and then they'll go all the way.
I mean, look at the shit in there. I mean, look at it.
What do you mean? You got
Aaron Moy is your best player. He's on the bench for Celtic.
we got this kid Garang Kuwal. He's 18.
He plays. He just signed for Newcastle, so he's talented. But he's 18 and he's not setting the world on fire.
We got the cum dog, Jason Cummings.
Oh God, didn't he get kicked out of Kilmarnock or something? Or Hibernian? He did.
I don't know.
What?
We got a few decent players.
No, you don't. You have no one.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely nobody. I've never seen a worse team. It's hilarious.
Watch this worst team destroy.
It's not going to do anything.
Okay. Well, we different opinion there. Moving on. Denmark. Most people think Denmark will get out of the group.
Yeah, they went to the Euro semis. Yeah,
Christian Eriksen and
Damsgaard.
other players, I guess.
Well, they got Damsgaard is another one. Schmeichel, is he still kicking about?
Schmeichel's still going. Jesus, he got old quick.
Well, he was always a bit old. But yeah, look, he's a. Oh, you mean Peter Schmeichel? Yeah, he's a bit old. But yeah, he's a solid team, and they went to the Euro semis. They're a good team. They've improved a lot over recent years, so I think they'll definitely finish second in that shithole of a group.
I think they finished second too in that group. Now we move on to France, the defending champions.
They're winning the group.
They're winning the group. Do you know what the winner's curse is?
I don't care what the winner's curse is. They've got
group.
Australia in their group.
They can't come out.
I don't care what it is.
They can't.
It's physically they could play their 20th team and they'd still beat Australia.
They can't though because they're cursed. That's the issue.
I don't care if they're cursed. I don't care.
Well, they are.
It's impossible to be cursed that much. It's impossible.
No, how is it possible for Spain to not make it out of the group or Germany to not make it out of the group?
Because they had competent
or Italy to not make it out of the group.
Competent teams around them. Australia is terrible. Who's the other team in the group?
Tunisia.
Wow. If they get knocked out
shocking.
by Australia and Tunisia, that would be
it'll be Denmark and Australia.
Yeah, if they get knocked out by Australia or Tunisia, that would be the biggest shambles I have ever seen in my life.
Well, get ready.
Everybody and their mother should be sacked from that team. The dinner lady should not keep the job.
You can't blame it. The curse is real. No. You can't blame it on
the dinner lady she shouldn't keep her job. The cleaners, no, they're sacked. Anybody, the kit manager, anybody that has stepped foot in that building does not deserve to have a job for the rest of their life if they lose to either Australia or Tunisia. It's just...
What can you do? I mean, they're light on depth, France,
I don't care if they're light on your mum, okay? They're not losing to Australia or Tunisia. It's not possible. It's physically not possible. I can't...
Okay, whatever you say.
I can't put it any clearer to you. Tunisia, who's their best player? Maybury.
I don't know.
He got kicked out of our
They're
team.
not going to
play for
They're not going to
Birmingham.
lose to Tunisia. I already said that.
To Australia. Okay, yeah. Who have you got?
We already went through it.
Okay, who's your player of the tournament for Australia then? Because they're winning the World Cup apparently. Who's it?
Matt Ryan in goal.
Matt Ryan. Yep. Got kicked out of Brighton. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. God, I mean, you can't play for Brighton. I mean, it's embarrassing.
When he puts on the green and gold.
Puts on the green and gold. He concedes 100 goals.
He's like Dane Gagai in Origin.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Australia made out of the group when he's been a keeper.
Yeah. So
Doesn't mean he's bang average then. Look, no way, no how that France don't get out
remember,
of the
you know we
group.
played.
You're French.
We played France in the last World Cup, and we basically drew with them.
Right. Your
And they
team
won.
is worse from that tournament, you know?
Not really.
It is. You lost Jedinak?
Jedinak.
He was your best player. Because, you know why? Because he's the only one that scored goals, because you can only score goals from penalties.
Yeah, but anyone can score a penalty. He was just the one that took it.
Yeah. He's the only one that scored goals in the entire tournament for you.
Yeah, and we basically drew with France doing that.
Oh, God. You didn't score a single goal that wasn't a penalty. I don't get how
Better than not scoring a goal.
It's not.
It is.
Well, yeah, but marginally. It's like, well, it doesn't mean anything though. Did you finish last in that group? I think so.
I don't know.
Because you lost to Peru.
Maybe.
But anyway, you're not making out of the group.
Yeah, well, France are my second team anyway, so if Australia do lose, I will be supporting them the rest of the tournament. They're a little bit light on depth. They're missing Kante and Pogba, so their midfield's a bit skinny. So a little bit worried about them in terms of...
But they're going to have to play French players.
Going back to back. What do you mean?
They're going to have to put French players in the team. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but they don't really have any other good midfielders. Rabiot.
He's been solid for them. Look, mate, you could put fucking Timbuktu in that midfield and he'd still beat Australia and Tunisia.
Yeah, okay, but once they're out of the group, then what?
I don't think they're winning the World Cup. I do think their depth is a bit less. They lost Nkunku, who's in a great form.
He probably wasn't getting the team anyway.
No, what? He's on unbelievable form.
Yeah, but he's not going to get in over Benzema or Mbappe.
He could play on the right.
Could he?
Yeah. He plays in like more of a centre forward role and a cam role in Leipzig, so he could definitely get in the team. Camavinga, they've got in their midfield as well, so they've got plenty of players, France, but it's just not as stacked as the last World Cup. Like in the last World Cup, everyone said, "Oh, they're winning it." I said it, they're winning it before the tournament even started. I mean, the depth that they had at every position and the world-class players. And Varane,
he's injured.
Nobody's coming back, though, apparently. Deschamps said he could be fit for the first game, so that's interesting for France. A good development for them anyway. So, yeah, I think France... Don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll be solid.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Group E. Costa Rica, swipe a visa, 17, but I'm going to be a millionaire. Drifter beam and bloody sneaky. You know that song?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing anything.
Costa Rico.
Do you remember they had like that massive run in like...
No, I don't.
Oh, they had...
Are you talking about Colombia?
No, Costa Rica. They had Joel Campbell and stuff, and I think it was 20... They came up against Netherlands in a penalty shootout in like the quarters or something. They made it all the way to the quarters or something. But yeah, Costa Rica...
They got Navas in goal.
Keylor Navas, yeah, he's probably their only good player. So, yeah, they're not doing anything in this tournament.
Okay, Germany. The big bad Germans. I just
can't get the fucking Qatar fans out of my head. It's just, Germany!
Well, they got Rudiger at centre-back, could be his relatives.
Yeah, he's solid.
But yeah, I like their squad.
Yeah, they got a decent team.
It's basically just a Bayern team.
But again, their strike force, I doubt heavily. Havertz and Werner. Ain't no way, boy. I've seen them play football.
Yeah, we got Sané.
We?
You said you. I said like...
You said we.
No, I said you.
I think you said we.
But
Sané, yes, solid player, but...
Muller.
Yeah, solid player, but...
somehow Goethe made the team.
Well, where's he playing? Benfica or somewhere around there?
Eintracht Frankfurt.
Eintracht Frankfurt, that's the one. Yeah, it's a solid team, but again, England played them in the Euros. They didn't have a lot of bite to them. They played Werner and Havertz, like I said. I don't rate them particularly well. I don't think they've got the firepower. They've got solid players. They've got Goretzka in the team.
Kimmich,
Goretzka, really solid players, but
Gnabry.
Gnabry, yeah, they've got winger options, but I just think in terms of down the middle,
Musiala, he's a prodigy, isn't he?
yeah, Musiala. They've got great wingers, but I just don't think they've got that pure strike force. I know Sane's more of a creator, and I just don't think they've got that direct striking option that's just going to take them over the top. For me personally, but look, they could definitely win it. I think they've got the talent, but yeah. Worst teams have won it.
Okay, yeah. Well, they should definitely come out of the group. Japan, they're always a solid World Cup team. Kasuki Honda back in the day, he always used to get them out of the group.
He plays in the A-League, doesn't he?
Is he still playing?
The Victory, yeah.
Oh, wow.
For the Victory.
But yeah, I mean, they've got some solid players. They got the Arsenal defender. What's his name? Tomiyasu. He's solid. But yeah, I don't think they get out of the group because Spain is also in this group.
Oh, is this a group of death? Hang on, who's in this group?
Spain, Germany, Japan, and Costa Rica.
Well, yeah, this is a group of death, 100%. Spain, Japan, Germany. That's a really, really good group. Spain have got a solid team.
Spain, a little bit of a controversial squad selection as Luis Enrique hates anyone with experience, apparently.
Or De Gea. De Gea more specifically, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and Thiago and Ramos.
Did you not pick Thiago?
Yeah.
That guy's a friggin' joke. You know, he's doing a Twitch stream as well. He's like doing after like games, he's going to comment on like match analysis. I'm like, buddy, how about you pick a team that can win a fucking game? How about that? You pick friggin' a Brentford goalkeeper over David De Gea. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, that is a little bit questionable.
But yeah, no, they've got a decent team. I just don't. Again, Spain, it's the same thing. I don't really think they got that much bite in them.
Yeah,
they got Ferran Torres and Morata and that sort of crop of players. So we'll see. But again, who's your standout players for you that you see?
Well, I mean, in Spain, always their midfield is strong.
Well, they got those
Gavi,
young,
Pedri.
they got those young Barcelona boys in Gavi and Pedri. So I think their future World Cups is probably looking at. They're probably looking at future World Cups. To be fair.
I mean, their midfield's always incredible, but they lack a little bit defensively, I think, and in attack, and now obviously in goals without De Gea. Busquets, he's old.
How did he make it over Thiago? That is
he's probably going to be their CDM, and he's not really great at the DM part of his job anymore. So
Rodri's their CDM.
Oh well, Busquets is captain, so he's going to be in the team.
If you pick Busquets over Rodri at this point in his career, that's a. Oh wait, I wouldn't be surprised with Enrique at this point, but still.
Yeah. They picked Ansu Fati. That's interesting.
Ansu. Soler, yeah, Dani Olmo. They just got a bunch of gadget players. They just don't have, I don't think, an out-and-out good player. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but I think they get out the group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, actually, Japan's a tough team. Japan is a really, really solid team.
They grind you out and sort of get a goal at the end sometimes.
They'll surprise you. I think Spain and Germany should be on the lookout for. I think Germany will get out, but I think it'll be between Japan and Spain definitely to get out.
Yeah. Okay. Group F. We'll start with Belgium.
The perennial disappointments of the tournament.
Well,
the team that's always ranked in the top 3, but always seems to drop out of the quarters.
So this is their golden generation, definitely, and now
it's the last road for them.
Yeah, the last chance for sure. A lot of aging players at this point, and I do think this is probably their weakest team.
Well, yeah, because of Hazard.
The last sort of 4 years.
Hazard's decline is probably the main reason to that. Lukaku isn't great, obviously. He's looking real chubby as a reason as well. But Courtois is probably top 3 goalkeeper in the world. You could argue,
obviously.
You could argue best. You got De Bruyne, arguably best player in the world. So you've still got unbelievable players. But I think it's kind of what Spain and Germany have and Belgium don't, is the fact that Spain and Germany have a lot of good players in terms of filler players, in terms of squad depth. They can put one guy in, he'll do a job. Belgium have got stars.
They're top heavy for sure.
But they've got no depth. I mean, they'll play friggin' Wout Faes.
Simon Mignolet's in this.
They got Yuri Tielemans. Look, they've got solid players.
Trossard.
Carrasco. So they'll be playing Carrasco and Torgan Hazard. They'll be playing those types of players, which are solid players, but I just don't think they're quality enough to sort of take you over the edge in a World Cup scenario. But look, could this be Belgium's year?
Probably not.
It's kind of fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on. Hang on, what's it? Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace sign, load the chopper, let it rain on you. It's kind of that sort of deal. I'm not going to get fooled again.
The chopper's been loaded for Belgium.
Belgium.
Yeah, but still they should get out of the group, definitely. Canada. This is basically Alphonso Davies or bust, I think.
But he's coming off an injury as well. Yeah, they're bust.
Yeah, bust.
They got Jonathan David, who's a really, really solid player, but that's it. They got no one else. Absolute nobodies. Your best player cannot be a left back. Sorry.
Still, he's a good guy. Streams.
Croatia.
Coming off a demolition job of England in the last World Cup.
Oh God, don't remind me.
Can they do it again? I don't think so.
No, their team's a lot older. Look, they still got Kovacic and Brozovic,
Modric.
They got a lot of the itches.
All the itches, it seems.
But they don't have Mandzukic anymore. They don't have Rakitic. They don't have Rakitic anymore. It's a shell of a team that they were in 2018. Their 2018 was probably their best team. I just don't think they're that solid. They might get out of the groups, but past that, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think they get out of the group. They're definitely the second best team in this group, but yeah, would not be expecting another.
Well, who's the fourth team in the group?
Morocco.
They got Hakimi. That's about it. Same thing with Canada. This is a weak group.
They have a couple other. I thought other people were saying they were decent. Who else do they have? Oh, they got Ziyech.
Yeah, they got
Chelsea.
Ziyech, Hakimi, but Ziyech is not in good form at all. And Hakimi's a right back. So, look, he's a great offensive right back, but he ain't winning World Cup games by himself.
Okay, all right. And then moving on to Group G. Now this is the betting favourite for the tournament.
Yeah, it's my favourite.
Brazil. They're your favourite?
Yeah. They just, top to bottom, they've got quality. It's just, you look at the team, Fred. Oh, God, look at him.
Fred.
But no.
In all of his glory.
You got Alisson, Marquinhos.
They have to have the best goalkeeper depth with Edison and Alisson.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They got Alisson. Their left and right backs are a lot to be desired. I think Danilo and Alex Telles, which is
Dani Alves.
And Dani Alves, which is a bit dodgy. But they got Thiago Silva and Marquinhos in centre back. I mean,
Thiago Silva's 38. How can he still be good?
He's still unbelievable. You've got Casemiro. I could go on Neymar. They got so much depth in so many different positions. Vinicius Junior, who's in unbelievable form.
Fabinho.
Gabriel Jesus.
Anthony.
He's
obviously
probably
not going to play.
No, he plays on the right. They don't have a lot of right wingers, so he might play. Richarlison was a bit of a controversial one, but yeah,
Martinelli.
It's just maybe like a fictional sort of thing that I've made up in my mind, but I just think that their culture and their very the camaraderie that the team has together. I think it's a very sort of they're very close, and I feel like they'll suit them well. But they've also got the talent to back it up. You see a lot of players or a lot of teams that have maybe the talent but don't have the camaraderie, and you see a lot of teams that have the camaraderie but don't have the talent to make it all the way. I think Brazil have both, and you could argue they've got the best in position in multiple. They've got best in the world in multiple positions. So it's a bit of a not shoe-in, but I think they're my definite favourites for sure.
Yeah,
they haven't won it. When was the last time they won it?
2002.
Yeah.
See that knowledge?
The R9.
Off the dome.
Off the dome.
Yeah, I think they made the semis in 2014, but that's when they got pumped by Germany, like 7-1 or whatever it was.
Yeah, lovely.
But yeah, I think this
was that home World Cup as well.
Yeah, home World Cup. And that was when David Luiz was crying.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He embarrassed himself. I think they're definitely one of the favourites, and they should get out of this group. Moving on, Cameroon.
Used to be
no Samuel Eto'o, so
yeah. I was just about to say that. Used to be the only African team you knew because of Samuel Eto'o. No African team is really doing anything in this tournament. I don't think. I know that's tough to say, but maybe Senegal could do something, but I just don't think Cameroon have the quality at all. They just look shocking. Yeah,
Cameroon probably not going to do much. Serbia
got Mitrovic.
Mitrovic, yeah. They have a lot of itches as well.
Yeah, a lot of itches. Tadic, do they have Tadic? Tadic in the team?
They got Rakitic, Kostic, Vlahovic.
Let me have a
They
look.
got Vlahovic.
It's tough to remember all these itches.
I don't see a Tadic.
They got some decent players. Mitrovic, obviously, like we said. Tadic is right there.
Yeah, Vlahovic from Juve.
Vlahovic. So, yeah, look, strikers-wise, they're solid. Luka Jovic.
Milinkovic, Savic.
Yeah, Savic is a good player. Look, they could get out of the group. You've got quality players in there, but it's just, again, the depth is the main issue.
Yeah. And then Switzerland.
The Swiss.
They
Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, and Shaqiri, they're still...
Shakira.
Feels like they've been the only two players.
Like this,
No, Shaqiri, not Shakira.
Shakira. Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Sweet in the sounds of my body.
Okay. I think that's enough of the song.
You know my hips don't lie.
Okay, yeah. Do you think they get out the group?
No, I think so.
Really?
I favour Serbia over them.
Oh.
I know Xhaka's in good form, but
I'll take Switzerland.
you got Sommer, who's a solid player as well, but I just don't think they're that good.
Embolo.
Brill Donald and Bolo.
Yeah, well, I'll take Switzerland to come out. Okay, moving on. Final group.
Oh, this is actually... I think Ghana's probably the best African nation, actually.
Well, Ghana used to be good. I remember in 2010 they had a good tournament.
Yeah.
Asamoah Gyan.
And then Luis Suarez, a fucking
Andre
cheating
Ayew.
dirtbag that he is. Handballed it on the line and like a bitch. Didn't take the loss like a man. But anyway, that's by the by. Look, they did kind of similar thing to Qatar. They naturalised a lot of... Hey, buddy, you're not playing for England. How about you play for us? So Lamptey, I think they got Hudson-Odoi as well. So yeah, they got a couple of English players.
Inaki
Williams they got from Spain. So yeah, they got it. They looked at their team. They're like, we're not doing anything. Let's let's look at ancestry.com. Let's do some research, fellas. And they somehow find the great grandmothers, dogs, parents, sisters, mothers, cousins, boyfriends. High school teacher that was related. They found these deep relatives to ensure these players played for Ghana. And look, they're a solid team. And
wait, Andre Ayew's still playing?
Well, they got a good team. I think Thomas Partey as well in goal. In
Jordan Ayew, is he good?
In centre mid, they could
Thomas
definitely
Partey.
be a surprise. So they got a lot of solid players. Lamptey's very underrated. He's a very good right back, but just couldn't get any game time because England have got 30 right backs. So yeah, we'll see.
Solid squad, I guess. And then we get on to the favourites.
World Cup.
Ronaldo. Portugal. Now, probably the most talked about squad, I guess.
As of recent,
absolutely.
Abso-friggin-lutely.
Do you want to have a spiel on Ronaldo?
Well, Ronaldo, buddy. What you doing, man? Look, I think most Man United fans would agree with 99% of what you're saying. But again, we've all known this for so long. You don't have to keep on reminding us, hey, the Glazers don't invest money. Like, cool, bro. We knew that for about 20 years. The way that the part of the interview that lost me was the fact when he sort of went in on Ralph Rangnick, Wayne Rooney, and Eric Ten Hag. I just thought you're not going to get supported from you. I know he said that Man United fans were the best in the world, and he was saying that he's doing this for the fans. You're not going to get on the Man United fans' support. You're not going to get their support if you rinse the current manager and legends of the football club. You're just not going to do it.
But Wayne Rooney was like criticizing.
Wayne Rooney is a bigger Man United legend than you are.
Yeah, but he was responding to Wayne Rooney's criticism.
But it wasn't criticism. He wasn't. Wayne Rooney didn't criticize him. He just said that he probably needs to accept that it's for his current part of his career. It's probably better suited if he's on the bench, if he's contributing off the bench, which is completely decent and not a criticism even. It's just a comment that he was asked about for Man United. And then he went in on his looks and just said that he wasn't his friend. And it just seemed very bitter. And then the Ralph Rangnick thing, he just made him basically made him look like a beta, just saying that he had no right to coach Man United, which, look, I didn't agree with the interim role at the time for any manager for Man United, because we can go out and get any manager we want. We should be going out and getting any manager that we want because we're Man United. But yeah, I didn't agree with the role, but I think Ralph Rangnick didn't do anything wrong in his time. He said that he was a director of football when he's actually a lot more than that. He was a manager. He did lead a German, I can't remember what German side, but he led them to a couple of promotions in a row. I think he was manager of Leipzig at some point. He's a very accomplished manager in his own right. To say that he had no managerial experience and he was just basically a sporting director, I think it's a very unfair comment. And yeah, the Ten Hag thing, he said that he didn't have any respect for him, and it's like, buddy, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? I'd get it's because you're trying to leave Man United, but I don't know if this is the way to go if you're going to try and keep the fans on your side. It's just probably the most shocking. I mean, I was on the way to work and I just saw it. I'm like, damn, that's probably the most shocking thing I've ever seen. In terms of an interview from a player that
it's bloody Piers Morgan enough.
He currently you were captain last week and you're saying all that. It's just, it was shocking. I couldn't believe that. I thought it was fake quotes. I didn't realize it was real until I saw the words come out of his mouth. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very tricky.
He's got the biggest ego in the world, so
of course,
if you sit him on the bench,
definitely the biggest ego in football. I'll say that for free. But yeah, in terms of the World Cup squad,
they got a solid team.
Look, in terms of depth, they're definitely up there.
One of the best Portugal teams he's been on, for sure.
Oh, 100%. You could argue the best. You've got a lot of players hitting their peak at the moment. Ruben Diaz in defence, Cancelo. You got Bernardo Silva. You've got Bruno Fernandes.
João Felix coming up.
João Felix, he's not in greatest form. He plays for Atleti, but look, he's got a very, very solid team around him. And look, I think Ronaldo's probably wishing, God damn, I wish I was, 6 or 7 years younger when I was with these group of guys and not with, the shit I was with before.
Charisma.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're definitely a contending team. I think you would be lying to say otherwise. And look, as much as I dislike Ronaldo for the comments, I still hope if England don't win it that he'd win it. That's probably
still a fanboy.
I'm not a fanboy. He's a legend. So he made me love football. So I've got to show support for him.
Yeah, same.
What are your opinions?
I think they get out the group definitely. Obviously, I want to see, just for the culture, I want to see Portugal Argentina final. I think everyone would like to see that, really. But yeah, I think in terms of Ronaldo at Man United, the relationship was already fucked. It was already over. He's just come out now and made it all public, which I guess takes it to another level. But they were trying to move him anyway. He wanted out. They weren't
trying to move him. He lied a bit.
They were trying to move him, but no one wanted him.
He lied a bit. He's saying he was forced out the club. Mate, you wanted to leave. Let's be completely frank here. Yeah. You were the one that put in a transfer request. You were the one that wanted to leave. I think you said Eric Ten Hag disrespected you and said that he was the one pushing you out, when in reality he publicly came out when he first got appointed to say that, of course, he'd love to work with Cristiano. He's one of the best players in the world. I'd love to have him in my team. But the problem started when when you put in a transfer request. You wanted out. You were the one that wanted to leave and go to a Champions League club and sort of compete. And look, that's completely fine to sort of realise. And look, I can blame the board for not letting you go and keeping you at Manchester United when you clearly didn't want to be here. But yeah, look, you can't just outright lie and say stuff like that. It's just not true.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's probably for the best. Man United, they're still fucking shit anyway. They're a long way from where they once were. The World Cup, it's a much needed break for everyone, I think. But this is kind of like...
but yeah, and also the timing of it as well. We just played a final Premier League game.
Isho Speed was there to meet you.
But yeah, we just had an unbelievably upbeat win. We'd won in the last minute. Our youngster had come through, scored an unbelievable goal in the last minute to win the game away from home just before the World Cup, put us out on a high, and just make everyone feel so much more relieved going into that break. And then not even 2 hours later, like clips of this interview.
They knew what they were doing when they released the clips.
Yeah.
The interview wasn't obviously recorded then.
Yeah, it was released right after the game. Like, come on, man. It just put such a shit mood over the entire club when it was in an upbeat mode. And look, I want the Glazers out more than anybody, but nothing you can do. If they're not out by now, they're not getting out.
It's pretty insane that you haven't even met Ronaldo, like the biggest player of all time. You don't even bother to go and meet him when he's at your club.
Well, everyone knows that. But look, nothing's going to get the Glazers out other than money. That's just frankly what it is. You're not going to get the Glazers out unless you massively overpay for Manchester United. They have put up with so much warranted shit forever. And to say now, Ronaldo could be the change. Man United fans have been protesting the Glazers for nearly 20 years, around 17 years now. That's a long ass time to sit there and just take it. And they're taking it because they're making a shit ton of money off it. And the only way to sort of get them out is to overpay for them. And I just don't think any person with the sound mind is going to be like, yeah, let's pay £8 billion to these guys and then inherit hundreds of millions of pounds of debt on top of that. I just don't think anyone's doing that. But we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Actually, Portugal kind of have some internal conflicts potentially going on. You see the
Bruno
thing, and then there was it João Cancelo on the training pitch.
Yeah, I don't know if João Cancelo cared about the Man United thing, but I think
but there was like an incident with Ronaldo.
Yeah, I did see that, but I think that Bruno Fernandes they try to put out, oh no, it's about him being late. I'm like, bro, the interview just came out 2 hours ago. That wasn't like, oh, you're late. Oh, bro, what did you catch a boat?
Usually
did you catch a boat, bro? Like, oh fuck, bro.
They weren't
why are you so late?
smiling. They weren't smiling or laughing.
Like,
So
there you go.
That's a strange way to react to a joke.
It's like, yeah, bro, that was not what was happening. They're trying to put out like the fucking positive news, and they're like, I think we can all be frank here. Bruno was a bit pissed off that you made those fucking comments, or did a full tell-all interview 2 hours after they just won a game, and where you were apparently sick. So let's be frank here. He quit on Bruno probably sees it as he quit on the team, and he just put them in the mud and threw them under the bus. So yeah, I think I think that could be a major conflict. I think Ronaldo, I don't think the timing was great for him or Manchester United, because you can see this could negatively affect Portugal in the World Cup.
Yeah,
because it's not like Portugal don't have any Man United players. They got Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, who are shoo-ins to start. And that could create a major rift in that team.
But this is kind of like there's a lot riding on this World Cup for Ronaldo, for him to show that he actually can still play at a high level.
Oh yeah, because he's going to play. He's going to play.
Yeah,
he's going to start.
Because if anyone's going to take a flyer on him, like Chelsea or another European club, he has to.
Well, I think that's how he views it. I think he's trying to create his separation now, so that Man United have no choice but to release him. And then if he performs at the World Cup, top club will come in for him. That's how I think he probably views it. But I think he's got that much back. Are you going to take it? If you're a sporting director, we're like, oh, well, we can't sit him on the bench. He can't be on the bench for one game, and then he's going to just be making interviews with Piers Morgan. I mean, it's kind of like it was accepted. His ego was accepted because he was so great. But now that he's not as great, it's not accepted. So, and that's why he has no suitors. I mean, if you looked at if he was a bit more humble, I don't know how to put it.
A bit more like Messi.
No, but Messi also has arrogance. But if he changed his mentality, like Melo did with the...
Yeah.
See, Melo in the NBA, he couldn't get a job to save his life. And nobody wanted him because he still had that mentality like, I'm the superstar. But then when he changed his mentality, he extended his NBA career by 3 to 4 years because teams were willing to take a chance. I mean, they produced for the Lakers were terrible, but he still produced for them. He produced for Portland as well. So I think if Ronaldo were to change his sort of mentality on it and accept more of a Dani Alves role in the team, maybe not to that extent, but more of a supportive role and sort of a mentor role than I'm the superstar role, I think many clubs would take a flyer on him. I think you'd have likes of Dortmund take a flyer on him. I think you'd have just many Bayern. You'd have I think a couple Premier League clubs. I think you'd have a lot of teams if he was willing to accept an interchanging role. I think a lot of teams would take a flyer on it because he still is a solid player and he still has obviously a lot of experience in football and he has that winning mentality. So I don't think he's a terrible player. And he's not good enough to play on a top level team, but yeah, he needs to sort of adjust his psyche in order to do that. But anyway, we'll see what the team.
Moving on. Next team, South Korea.
Heung-min Son, that's about it.
Yeah, potentially injured as well. So
Yeah.
well, they've got nothing. And then finally, Uruguay, probably the next best team in the group. Uruguay again.
Who else? Hang on, who's in the group?
Portugal, Uruguay, South Korea, and Ghana.
This might be the group of death, actually. This is a really
Really?
top. Uruguay are a top 10. You look at the size of Uruguay.
Yeah, Uruguay's solid.
And they've got tiny population, tiny country, but they produce these unbelievable players. It's ridiculous. They've got, obviously, Cavani and Suarez are still in the team. It's definitely their last World Cup for them. But they've also got guys like Darwin Núñez.
Valverde.
Valverde as well. Muslera still in there?
Yeah, Godin's still there.
So, yeah, Araujo is a solid player for Barcelona.
Caceres, yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a really, really solid team. They've got Jimenez, I think, the centre-back. Starts with a G.
Yeah, Jimenez.
So, yeah, they got a solid team. We'll see if they can. I think they always get out the group. It's just whether they can sort of do that. You know, what was it, 2010 with Diego Forlan?
Yeah, won the Golden Boot.
Vibes, yeah. The Diego Forlan vibes. I think maybe they could do that, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the
World Cup.
end of the group stages.
Well, yeah. In essence, football's coming home. And
Football's
football's
coming
not coming home.
England are going to be in tears again.
Ronaldo's winning. So, yeah, moving on.
Okay. Do you want to just give a prediction for Golden Boot?
Golden Boot. Do you want me to do the typical? I might do a bit of out of the box one.
The viewers are just clicking off. The silence.
Ooh, I'm gonna go Neymar.
Neymar, okay.
I was gonna do a Brazilian player, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a bit more out there. And do like a Anthony or a Gabriel Jesus, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I just think Neymar's gonna probably play every game. And he's gonna score a shit ton of goals because I think Brazil are gonna win the World Cup. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably go with I don't know.
CR7?
I just want to go with Ronaldo, yeah, but
Bruno
probably
Fernandes.
I'm like, no, not Bruno. Jesus.
Bruno Fernandes.
Not Bruno Fernandes. I'll go with Karim Benzema.
But he's always underperformed for
Mutual
France.
friends, me and Karim have.
Why? Because you're both French.
My coach was mates with him.
Your coach was mates with him.
Yeah.
What coach?
My soccer coach.
Oh, in year 7. Oh, yeah. So your year 7 soccer coach.
No, my coach when I was in France.
Sorry, even worse. Your year, what was it, 4?
Yeah, around there.
Oh, okay, so your year 4 soccer coach knew Karim Benzema. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got mutuals. I like that.
Oh, do you talk to this soccer coach?
No.
So
but I'm sure if I reached out.
Sure, if you reached out. Hey, buddy, could you get me a meeting with me and Karim? Who is this? I was a player for you.
Do you remember? I was 8 years old. Australia.
Yeah,
I was Australia.
Yeah.
That's what they called me.
Australia.
Just like l'Australie.
What does that mean in French?
The Australian.
No, it means shithole. It means worst player in the team.
Were
you the worst player in the team?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Who was the worst?
I definitely wasn't the best, but
who was the worst?
What
position?
Racked my brain on names, but
no, you don't have to do names. What position did he play?
Probably like mid, centre back or mid.
Oh, why didn't you play that?
I was just so nervous. So all I did is, as soon as I get the ball, I just sprinted down the sideline, and then when I got to the box, I just crossed it in because I could do that and it was safe. So That's all I did pretty much. I was too scared to do
one-dimensional,
anything
very
else.
one-dimensional.
But they were like, yeah, good job.
good job.
So I must have been good at doing that. But yeah, who cares about that? We'll move on. Quick little UFC review from the past week. Big card obviously went down. A few upsets. One upset really. Not much else. But big card, I guess. Did you watch it? You get a chance
I don't have any money, so I watched the highlights.
Yeah. No one watches it live unless you go to a pub. But
I saw that Adesanya got upset.
yeah. So in the main event, obviously, Pereira beat Adesanya, technically making him 3-0 against him because he beat him twice in kickboxing before the UFC. The fight itself was quite entertaining, way above average for a usual Adesanya fight, which is usually just a jab and leg kick fest. But yeah, Adesanya was winning the fight 3-1 going into the fifth. So all he had to do was survive, really, and he defends his belt. And he gets finished. So
Didn't do it.
props to Pereira, I guess. A few people saying it was an early stoppage because he didn't
No, he
go
was
out.
he was getting torched.
He was out on his feet, but, you know, some people say you have to give the champion the chance, let him go out.
I thought he did. I thought it could have been stopped a couple seconds earlier, to be fair. He was getting torched up. But yeah, surprising. And people what was it? Sean Strickland said that he shouldn't get an immediate he shouldn't get an immediate rematch. I'm like, buddy, he was literally champion for, what was it, 3 years or something?
Yeah, he probably will get an immediate rematch.
Yeah, what have you done, buddy? You're just a idiot that can't even fucking speak English. So what are you doing? Didn't Sean Strickland lose his last fight?
He lost to Pereira.
Oh, Strickland lost to Pereira.
Yeah.
He's like, I should get the rematch against
Got
Pereira.
knocked out in the first round. But yeah, it opens up the middleweight division really because Adesanya looked like Khabib against this guy. So I saw a thing where it's like he's the most beatable champion in UFC history.
Adesanya.
No, Pereira.
Oh,
Because he has zero any other martial arts.
he just has kickboxing.
Yeah, well, he's only trained MMA for like 1 year.
So basically, it was tailor-made to beat Adesanya.
Yeah, pretty much. They fed him easy fights, and then they put him against one ranked guy, which was Strickland, who's an idiot, and all he does is strike like this. So he wins that, and then they gave him the title fight.
Yeah.
So, like, Rob Whittaker would destroy this guy.
So Rob Whittaker, didn't he have like a live stream? Wasn't he watching it live?
Yeah.
That would be. I want to see Rob just be like, Dana, give me the fucking belt,
That's
you
not his
dog.
thing, but
Dana, I've been fighting my whole life for this opportunity.
well, I think the UFC probably wants Adesanya to be champion because he's like their moneymaker. I think the easiest way to get him to become champion again is to make... Well, Whittaker's booked against Costa next year, but is to make Whittaker versus Pereira. Whittaker wins, and then you can just give Adesanya to Whittaker because he's already beat him twice, so there's no reason why you wouldn't do that. But yeah, it was very interesting. Also, Poirier Chandler on that card. Another great fight.
Poirier?
Dustin won. For me, that was a pretty easy prediction. Michael Chandler, to me, he's just a very entertaining fighter, but he's not one of the best fighters in the division.
Well, the blood thing was a bit gruesome.
Yeah, that was rank. It's like his actual brains were coming out.
It was a bit dodgy. But yeah, no, it was a good win by Poirier. But it's kind of like Rob. It's like, well, you'll be interim champion, but you'll never be champion.
Dustin?
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. Who knows, though? If Volk can beat Islam, that fight's been booked now. That's a much better matchup for someone like Dustin Volkanovski. Or even Islam is probably a better matchup than Khabib because I don't think he is as good as Khabib.
He's still pretty solid.
He's still good, but yeah.
Well, did Khabib beat anyone as good as Charles?
Well, I don't know.
Because, I mean, Islam dominated Charles. I don't think Khabib faced anyone close. Conor, when he came back, was his toughest fight, and Conor was 2 years out of the UFC, and in terms of matchup wise, it was just a terrible matchup for him as well. So
yeah, but just in the way that,
and he was drunk as well. So it's just, I know Khabib dominates, but I think in terms of opponent, Charles Oliveira is a better.
But Islam's just so big; he just cuts so much weight. He's just
But the
massive.
Dagestani
He's just massive for lightweight. But yeah, hopefully he loses to Volk. Fucking Volk's a legend. Also in the co-main of that card, Carla Esparza lost her belt, thank the Lords, to Zhang Wei Li. So the worst title reign in UFC history has come to an end with 0 defenses.
Why don't you like Carla?
Did you see the fight with Rose?
No, I didn't.
It was a 5-round fight where about 3 strikes got thrown in 25 minutes.
Was there a lot more strikes than this one?
Yeah, well, it ended in 2 rounds.
So,
But yeah, that's basically known as the worst fight, one of the worst fights of all time. And it's an embarrassment that those 2 fighters even competed for a UFC championship.
well, Rose deserves a bit of a credit.
Well,
she beat Joanna.
Yeah, she is a good fighter, but she did nothing, which is retarded. Like, she could have easily beaten Carla if she just did something, but she was just standing there doing nothing. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, UFC's in a great spot right now. Australian card's looking stacked. I mean, they just announced Josh Emmett versus Yair Rodriguez for an interim featherweight title fight on that card as well. So that'll be, I guess, Volkanovski's next defense at featherweight, whoever wins that. And then you got, obviously, Whitaker Costa, Islam Volk, like, fucking sick card. Tyson Pedro's on there.
What about Ty?
He's fighting in December, so I think they're waiting to see how his fight goes, and if he can turn around quickly, or he wants to turn around quickly, they'll put him on there, but up in the air if he'll be there. Dan Hooker said he won on that card as well that just happened. He said he wants to be in February, so that...
Dan Hooker.
That could be a
Jesus
cool
Christ.
fight.
Is that guy still in the UFC? What is he ranked now?
Like 12.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought, hasn't he lost like his past 7 fights or something?
No.
Who did he beat recently?
We just won this fight. And then he lost to Chandler, he lost to Poirier.
Yeah.
He went down to featherweight and lost to Arnold Allen. But I don't think he lost to... Did he lose to anyone else? I don't know. But yeah, he has had a few losses recently, but they were against really good guys. And he lost to Islam as well, but you know, everyone lost to Islam.
Yeah.
So he has been losing, but it's against really good guys. So he's still a good fighter. I'd like to see him on the Aussie card. So yeah, I mean, that's about it, you know.
Lovely jubbly. Any sport coming up this week? The World Cup's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it starts
World Cup next week. Get pumped, get round it. Support England. Or
no one's going to be supporting England.
Or if you're Indian or of the Southern Asian variety, you can get paid by Qataris to support a country. So I'd advise doing that and going to Qatar to get a free check.
Well, you'll probably die in Qatar if you do anything slightly outlandish.
Yeah,
so.
well, yeah, I wouldn't advise going to Qatar, but, you know, each to their own. But, yeah, hopefully England pull through and we win the World Cup for the first time. And it's kind of a bit sour. I'd prefer if we won it in Russia, to be fair, because, I don't know, it just feels a lot more... maybe not now, but back then...
We were in Europe for the last World Cup.
It felt a lot more safe. It felt a lot... Yeah, it felt a bit more cultural. I don't know. There's just something about it that seems so plastic, this World Cup.
I remember literally seeing you cry.
Yeah,
lost.
Here we go. Yeah,
at the dinner table in Italy.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, and I got taken the piss out of for so long.
Never seen someone so sad in my life.
Yeah, we got knocked out by Croatia in the semi-finals of World Cup.
Yeah, you would have thought his mum had just died.
Yeah, my sports team had just gone through an utter heartbreak. My country was crying.
And you were crying. The country wasn't.
Yeah, the entire country was. If you didn't find an Englishman that wasn't crying, if you found an Englishman that wasn't crying, then that's not a true Englishman. Okay?
Okay.
You got to have support. If Australia got to the World Cup semis and you lost in the last...
I wouldn't cry. I would be sad.
In extra time, you'd be like, God, this is so bad.
I wouldn't be crying.
I didn't cry. My eyes welled up. But I wasn't crying.
My eyes welled up. What's the difference?
I wasn't crying.
What's the difference?
Well, crying's like weeping. I wasn't weeping. I was just like distraught.
Yeah.
You
just didn't say anything for like an entire day.
No, I didn't say anything that night. Because me and Oscar were sharing a room and I just was utter silence. I was radio silence for the entire night. And I just got in my bed. I was just on my phone and just flicking through like YouTube or something. And I just refused to talk. I was so annoyed that we lost. But anyway, we're gonna win this one, so it's gonna be fine. And look, I was kind of glad that we didn't win it for a selfish reason, because we were on the plane back home when the World Cup final was being played, and it was the most BS thing. Whoever scheduled that needs a fucking
one of the teachers.
Yeah, who thought of that? Oh, I'm gonna schedule the trip home in the World Cup final. That's smart. Yeah, that's the only reason why I came, you dopes.
That's the only reason you came.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I came, was to watch the World Cup in Europe while it was on. And now you're gonna, let's go back home on the day of the World Cup final. Now, granted, I didn't expect England to be anywhere near a final, but still, I mean, come on. They
didn't even come third, did they?
No, but who cares about the fucking third, fourth game? But yeah, imagine if England won the World Cup final and I was on a fucking plane. What a shocker! That would have been awful. And the Euros, we were in lockdown, and I was kind of happy that we didn't win then, even though it was for a selfish reason, because I was fucking all by myself.
Were we in lockdown? They weren't in lockdown in England.
Yeah, no, but it just had opened up in England because of the Euros. We were in lockdown, and I remember I couldn't go to a pub, I couldn't do anything. I had to, by myself, just watch it, basically in silence, because my family was asleep. I just had to...
Oh, your dad didn't watch it?
No, they came in like in the second half, but like the first half, I just had to watch it. I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like, I can't even... This is the final, Euros final, and I can't even be around fellow Englishmen drinking. Like, this sucks. This absolutely fucking sucks. But anyway, this World Cup is completely free. Well, not in Qatar. It's not free. But in Australia, it's free while we're watching it. So, yeah. Enjoy the World Cup. Have a good time. And hopefully your betting comes out a success in this.
Betting on soccer is hard.
Football is easy if you know who's going to win.
No, it's hard.
If you have extreme...
Because there's 3 outcomes. So that's why it's harder.
No, but if you have great knowledge like myself, then it's easy.
But just statistically, it's harder.
Yeah, but then the odds are better for your result, isn't it?
Not really.
All right. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the podcast and have a great rest of your day.
Peace. Everyone subscribe and liking that. And yeah.
Don't be so desperate. Oh my God.
Fuck yourself.